Hey everyone, it's BDevine and welcome to Divine Miracles. Thanks for sharing and subscribing and being here and all that good stuff. And I hope that you guys are happy and well wherever you are. If not, I hope that you will be on my healing list going out at 9 a.m. Mountain Time and also 6 p.m. Mountain Time every single day. Okay, so get on the list if you need a little bit of a boost. And it's just a little 10-minute thing that you're relaxing for and just accepting the healing to go where it's needed for your highest good. So today we're going to do a, what's it called? Fantastical Creatures tarot reading, all right? And I want you to choose either number 1 or number 2. And also you can choose both of them if you feel that you really can't make a decision. Just choose number 1 or 2 or both, and then we'll go through and see what messages we have. I have only 15 tickets left for my Psychic Abilities webinar tomorrow. It is going to be so packed full of information, and you're going to need a notepad. You're going to have to rewatch because I have worked on this to get part 1 out. And we're going to be working on our clairvoyance and also explaining to you a whole another way of looking at things and exercises to do. So the link will be below, okay? And as I said, there's only 15 tickets. I don't know when I'm going to be doing this one again. So I really, really hope that you guys are there. All right, let's start with number 1. And I've already got the cards ready for number 2, but I don't want to look at them. So I'm going to put them aside. Okay, and there's some information in these Fantastical Creatures tarot. So when we find, some strange looking creature or whatever it is on this thing, we're going to read about it, okay? So here we go, number 1, what you got? I love it. Okay, to start off with, number 1, you have the energy of the Lovers, okay? And this is an interesting start. Sometimes it can talk about risky commitments as well. And the Lovers, obviously, we have the Fawn energy here, all right? So for number 1, this is a major situation for you, choices to make, situations that have come up that you need to be really focused upon. And maybe you've just been going through, and this is going to be, obviously my intuition is talking as I'm giving you this reading. So it's like you've been going through something that only you really know about, that you're struggling with in one way or another. And there's a situation coming up where, and you may not be aware of it right now, but there's a decision or a situation coming forward for you. And you're going to really have to do what is best for yourself. Of course, the Lovers indicates just that there's some kind of loving energy around you right now, some kind of commitment, some kind of change with regards to your romance for some people. But for other people, this very strong hint of some kind of opportunity that you've been waiting on or you've been wanting, and it just seems far away, or whatever it is, but it's coming forward. And you will just have to do what you think or feel is right for you. The energy of the sunlight coming in through, the trees here in this forest is quite interesting as well, because it's like there's going to be a light shed on the situation, right? So the traditional meaning for this card is a new love entering your life unexpectedly. This time, you've got to make sure you're not rushing into anything. Be aware that your decision may not also be something everybody else wants for you as well. But whatever choice is coming ahead, be careful with it, because it's going to affect you for a long time. Now, the Fawn energy. So people often confuse fawns with aggressive satyrs. The two types of creatures are not at all alike in temperament. The gentle fawns were companions and followers of the forest god Faunus, whose consort was the goddess Fauna, of course. The fawn was described as having the body and face of a young man, but with the legs, tail and ears of a deer. The fawns loved to play their flutes in their nightly moonlit revels. Their gentleness enticed female humans to dance with them. When humans and fawns fell in love, such relationships were difficult. Such choices involved consequences and required strength of conviction. On the stone in front of the fawn and his woman are hearts and the spiral of rebirth. Relationships come into our lives over and over until we satisfy karmic debt. True lovers grow together and their bonding becomes stronger until they join in one life spark. How awesome is that? Okay. So, knowledge when facing a difficult situation, number 1. We're still going with you, of course. And you also have the Knight of Pentacles. So traditionally, the Knight of Pentacles takes a little bit of, or he has been taking some time to turn up. Slow-moving, nature-loving, very responsible also, and was given quite a bit of a responsibility as a younger man. And this doesn't, the Knights and... So page, knights, kings and queens don't always necessarily mean that it's a male or female. Like if it's a queen, it's a female. It's not always. It's sometimes the energy or the temperament of someone. And in this case, it just feels like you've been waiting for an opportunity, number 1, and the decision needs to be made with the lover's energy, of course. But you also have... this energy of finances coming forward here. And sometimes also you might have been reaching out for help from the spiritual realms, and this also talks about that coming in. As you can see, there's like this protective symbol in the front as well with this particular knight. So this is an elf, I think. Elf? Yep. Okay, so this is an elf here. So let's have a look what it means in the book for elves. Okay. Again, a new job, a location or experience, a new psychic talent. Maybe you're going to be at my webinar. Magical art or creative ability is awakening. So the elves, although they resemble humans in most features, elves have slightly pointed ears and strikingly beautiful eyes. Most are benevolent and love music, singing and dancing. Elves are renowned for their vast accumulation of ancient knowledge, but are very cautious about sharing this information with humans. Their elf books contain instructions about foretelling the future. So there you go. So a new job, something coming. It's been taking a while to turn up. It's finally here. This has a lot of nature, obviously, first in both cards. So for number 1, maybe you just really need to recharge your batteries a little bit and take some time out if you need it, and the decision will come for you. This always is a positive energy. So you're already starting on a good note with all this positive news here. Oh my gosh, and it keeps going with the 2 of Cups. So this is time to reconcile with someone or get back in connection with somebody, or somebody's coming back into your life. So maybe this is why the Lovers came up first as an indication of, okay, this may be coming forward, but do you really want this? Make sure that you're completely sure before you move forward. The other thing is we're looking at mermaid energy with the 2 of Cups, mermen and mermaids, and the energy of finally reaching a goal as well, right? And I often find that when the 2 of Cups comes up just out of nowhere in a reading, there's a lot of good news that's following here. You know, there's a lot of good news that's coming, and a reason to celebrate as well, right? Maybe you're going to be able to go somewhere special soon because things are starting to change. So the merfolk, mermaids and mermen, like we said, appear in the seas, rivers, bays, and occasionally in lakes as well. Above the waist, merfolk have human forms, and below their hips they sport fishtails with large flukes, covered with tiny translucent scales. Although they're very beautiful, it's a cold beauty, as they do not possess human emotions. They possess supernatural powers, one of which is the ability to foretell the future. Seems to me, number one, that there's your abilities are really going to start opening. Legends say that the merfolk also can call up fierce storms and howling winds by dancing through the waves. This card depicts the mermaid and merman harmoniously intertwined, both reaching for the cup of spiritual love. Pearls of ancient wisdom cling to their bodies, along with the rising bubbles of conscious spirituality. The ruins of ancient palaces symbolize past lives that have left important marks on our present lives. There you go. So, an emotional time in your life. You should think through every action twice before doing it. You're being told twice now. If you are self-disciplined and responsible, you will benefit greatly in the end. A successful partnership or love affair will soon appear. And if you recently quarreled with a lover or friend, then this is an excellent time to make up as well. So you can use this energy to gain control of your emotions as well. Okay? And maybe just releasing anything that you don't need anymore as well, right? Before you embark on a new journey, it's always good to make sure you've cleared up and worked out the old one as well. Okay, so I'm loving this, number one. You've got some really amazing cards. And look at this. Look at you go into your beginning. Ooh, what kind of creature is this? Looks like a dragon. Sort of looks like a dragon. Okay, we'll figure it out. So, the unexpected. Okay, so the Fool coming up. Unexpected energy. Brand new beginning. And then let me see what the name of these are called. Amphisbaena. It's a Greek energy here. So this whatever, it's got two heads. Oh, there it is. Yeah, look, it's actually one being with two heads. Amphisbaena. I'm trying to say it right. I hope so. Okay. So they can move in the direction of either head if the two halves hold on to each other, creating a circle which enables it to roll. There you go. Something like the never-ending story, right? The two heads are capable of acting independently, although they often think and work together as if of one mind. The Amphisbaena aptly portrays the Fool, who when faced with choices often can't make up his mind or decides without enough information. Okay, so sometimes it's like you're asking the wrong question as well. So you may be asking, what about this and what about that? And it's like, no, maybe come at it from another way, or asking for advice in another way. So expect the unexpected with the Fool. So new beginnings or journeys into unknown areas, all right? A leap of faith is required, as we know. It's like a lot of people think that the energy of the Fool, like, why are you doing that? You're stupid. And you're going to do it anyway. That's what's here. So, wandering, maybe wanting to go somewhere else and start something new as well. So there we go. For number one, it looks like to me that all of your cards here are circling around a decision that other people may not understand, that other people may not want for you. And maybe there's been some arguments, maybe there's been some upset or turmoil in your life regarding this situation and the decisions that you want to make. I always feel that we always know what to do. We know when we get nervous or worried about or anxious about something that, it may not be the right thing for us, or that we're just nervous or anxious because we don't know how it's going to go. And one thing that you have to start to really rely on is your instincts, your gut feeling on everything. And it always tells us straight away, if we don't listen, we make mistakes. and eventually it comes out that our first feeling was correct. You know, how many times does that happen to us? So you're really being guided to not listen to outside influences, number one, about an important decision for yourself in your life. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't seek outside counsel. Don't ask 1,000 readers to see if they all start saying the same thing and then you'll go in that direction. Just trust yourself to know what to do and start really relying on this a little bit more. Okay, but other than that, you have beautiful energy around you, very kind, loving energy, emotional energy, and at the same time, new beginnings and the money that you've been waiting for coming forward. Okay, taking it a while, but it comes forward. Beautiful, number one. I hope you enjoyed your messages, and I hope that everything's okay with you. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, number two. And here's your cards, number two. All right, we're going to go through each one of these. And I'm using the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. My Psychic Abilities class is this week. Oh, sorry, tomorrow. This week. It is this week, but it's tomorrow. And I only have a limited amount of tickets left. So I'd really like to see you there to be blown away with what you're going to be learning. Believe me, it's going to be awesome. So hope to see you there. The links will be below, okay? Let's go. We are using, like I said, the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. There are some creatures on here that we may not have seen before, and I'm going to read to you about them as well. All right, let's go with number one. The first card. First card for number two. And we have the King of Swords. So interestingly enough, the King of Swords is about making sure that there's an authority energy going on, that you perhaps are asserting yourself, number two, that you're listening to your inner counsel, and that you're making sure that you're accurately rating a situation, or you know, that you're thinking of things clearly. It's almost like something has, I guess I'm just going to have to trust my gut feeling, of course. It's almost like something has wobbled your energy a little bit, or something has shaken you, or something that you've been believing in, and then suddenly it's like really different for you and it's all over the place. So the energy of the King of Swords here is being strong even in the face of adversity. You know, being strong and being able to navigate your way through clear thinking and not allowing people to muddle your mind right now. Okay, you know how people like to do that sometimes. They like to make you feel like you're going crazy or like you're unstable in some way. And this is showing you that with the King of Swords energy, you actually do know what you're doing. It's a very, very strong and communicative energy, right? King of Swords is like the boss in situations. And sometimes, you know, people try to manipulate, right? So in this particular energy, as we're looking at this card, this is actually, the King of Swords is depicted by the vampire. That's what's going on here. So here we go. Vampires are considered to be the undead, people who drink blood from other humans and never die. Unless that is, a wooden stake is driven through their heart, or so legend says. Vampires are believed to be extraordinarily strong, self-healing, and able to turn themselves into bats or slip under doors as thin wisps of vapor. It's believed that being marked by teeth of the spirit grants the gift of prophetic abilities. On the card, the image of the full moon is repeated several times to symbolize its strengthening effect on the vampire. His eternal life is revealed in the spirals on the stones. So, if this card is a person, he will be professional with a clear mind. Some say a cold heart, but definitely a clear mind. And if this comes up as a situation for you, you will need swift, accurate thinking and eloquent words. And you may be standing on the edge of a long-awaited spiritual breakthrough. Okay? So it's like you have to just act upon something, and it's very, very important. And don't let people talk you out of it, manipulate you, or make you feel all wobbly or that you don't know what you're doing anymore. Make sure you're grounding yourself and connecting, right? Making sure you're pulling all of your energy back to you so that you can make an informed decision about something clearly and accurately. Okay, what else have we got here? Oh, the Tower. So number 2, this is the Kraken, okay? So number 2, there are some surprises coming for you, okay? I love, there's energies in the tarot that do not have to be negative, okay? And I don't like to bring any kind of negative types of messages to you, but you do need to have an awareness of things, okay? If you can have an awareness of something, then you can change its vibration, thereby changing what the outcomes are as well. So we have the energy of the Tower. Okay, sometimes this is something that comes, as we know by now, by doing these cards, it's something that comes as a shock to us, right? Something that comes out of nowhere. Something that feels very emotional when it's first taking place, right? And sometimes it's like life gets turned upside down. Someone can appear one way and then suddenly turn in another way. And certain events can be out of your control. But it's very good to bring the truth to light. This particular card brings truth right to the light, reveals necessary changes before they reach some kind of really bad critical stage in your life. So the Kraken. Ancient seafarers feared the dreaded Kraken, believed to be so powerful that it could crush a ship with its tentacles. In the early days of sailing, voyagers watched carefully whenever they were becalmed. Unusual boiling water around them signified the Kraken's rise to the surface. Can you imagine seeing that? You're not going to be able to just put a motor on that old sailboat and get out of there, right? So, so the Kraken represents the dreaded, unexpected misfortune that seems to come without warning when we become complacent. When tumultuous disaster strikes, we live in a state of chaos and shock as our tower crumbles around us. We need to pay attention to all the warning signs that have been happening and be prepared for this change. That which is no longer needed always falls away. And it seems to be like coming at us when we least expect it. And that's what's going on here. There's something that needs to change. There's something that needs to shift in your life. It may be people, it may be a house, it may be, I don't know, a job, anything for you. And it does feel like it has this energy around it that not only is it unexpected, but that somebody perhaps that you never thought of might even be behind it, trying to cause trouble. When this energy comes forward, this is probably why you had the King of Swords right at the start. Be tough, be strong. Don't give in to being fearful. Fear is like the worst enemy that you can have, because it will really block everything in your life, and it turns energy sour in your life as well. And it may be difficult to connect, ground yourself, and it just gets all out of control. Okay, so be aware that there's something that needs to fall away. It may surprise you how that comes about, but now that you have this energy, you know, you can make the necessary changes, you can make the preparations that you need to do, you can prepare your mind, and then nothing will bother you. It doesn't matter what happens, that you will find your way forward. Okay. And then what do we get? The Moon. Okay. Look, number 2, it seems to me that you've really been going through something here. With unicorns, obviously very good news. With the moon energy here, the full moon might be bringing about this change. And since you had many full moons in your King of Swords card as well, it could be that around that time is something you need to be aware of is going to change. You have the wise owl in here as well. And the moon card asks you to look for the truth in situations, making sure that you are being aware of your own truth as well and not being misled by other people. You see, this seems to be super important for you to listen to, number 2. Okay. So we'll talk about the unicorn here. So the fabulous unicorn is often depicted with the head and body of a horse, the whiskers of a goat, the tail of a lion, and the white spiral horn in the center of its forehead. Tradition says their horns provided an antidote for poisons and could restore good health to anyone who drank from one. However, the swiftness of this solitary creature made it impossible to catch. So the moon card reflects the waxing and waning of cycles in life and initiations into the inner spiritual mysteries. The owl, an emblem of wisdom, can see through the concealing shadows to the truth. So you must look beyond illusions and see the truth. You are entering into a very perceptive cycle that allows you to tune in to spiritual vibrations. This is a good time to see behind people's masks, open your psychic channels, and make needed changes. Okay, so you could use this card if you were meditating to reveal the truth or to access and develop your psychic powers. So if you do that, you are going to know well in advance what you need to do in any situation. In my own life, I completely follow and trust my guidance all the time. Just inner gut feeling all the time. I know what happens to me when I don't do that. It's like, I get a bad feeling about that. And then, just give it a try. Or don't be so judgmental, or just go do it anyway and see what happens. And it's like my inner, self was screaming at me, no. I go along with it, and then later on, it doesn't work, because I haven't listened. My gut feeling is always right, and so is yours. It's time to really trust and focus on this now as well. Okay, number 2. And finally, justice. Look at these major cards for you. 3 major cards, right? 3 major turns of events, and you having to be very, very strong in the middle of it all right? You are supported. Doesn't matter whatever news we get or whatever happens to us. Yes, things can be a shock at first, but we have to remember that we're supported. There's a reason for everything, and that everything will be okay, that we will find a way forward, right? Because the alternative is to just flail around aimlessly. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And you'll find that there's not many people there that will support you in person. And sometimes you have to do things yourself, So the energy here is the lion dogs. And sometimes they can represent unpleasant events that have happened. And finally, that there's justice done. Okay, so no matter what's going to turn up here, there's going to be a good outcome to all of this. All right. So the justice card, as we know by now, is fair. It's balanced. It's some justice is done in a situation that has been weighing heavily on your mind. Right. If this was a big reading, it would be interesting to find out in which position this came out. But this is sort of like an outcome card, I guess we could say. And it's the ancient Chinese lion dogs or fu dogs. They usually were placed by temple doors as guardians. So these guys are guarding, I can't get my words out today, guarding you. The statues are thought to come alive at night to make their protective rounds of the building that they guard. The male lion dogs are always portrayed with a ball under one foot, symbolizing the balance of opposites, while the females have a rolled up puppy under one foot. Right. Also known as demon catchers, these beings are said to be capable of hunting down and driving away evil spirits and troublesome energies. Right, fantastic. The Chinese believed that all evils begin as small ones, which grow and gain in power when ignored. The lion dogs are capable of catching and destroying all evils before they spread, as symbolized by the ice in the Justice card. This card represents their ability to protect, right wrongs, and maintain justice. So, danger might be near you, but you will come to no harm. An unpleasant event will take you by surprise. However, you will not suffer from it. Okay, and this is also the Tower here. You're going to be aware of it. Karma is being balanced in your life. And you can meditate on this card and the Chinese lion dogs to bring protection for you, right? Even though all you have to do is ask and it is done. If you want to be afraid your whole life, for example, then that can happen as well. You'll be afraid. So we all have to take our power back and remember that, you know, all we have to do is say or ask for what we really want, make a declaration of this, and it's done, right? And you have the energy of protection and strength with you. If there is something major going on in your life and it feels all over the place, number 2, just take heed, you know, take notice that you have the ability to really, really keep control of this situation and keep calm and understand that, you know, everything has a way of changing for our benefits. So even if at the moment you are going through something that nobody can understand, please know that Spirit is still guiding and protecting you every step of the way. And make sure that you aren't giving in to any fears, that you aren't allowing yourself to lower your energy field, you know, and by giving into fearful stuff, and making sure that you are remembering that your angels and your spirit team, your light team, are with you all the time. All you have to do is make sure, if you feel a little bit vulnerable, that you are asking for special reinforcements in your life, in your home. Cleanse and clear. Use your sage. Do the work in your home as well. Move some things around. Change the energy, and you will change the outcomes. And it's all positive anyway. What's going to come across, it just may not seem like it at first. All right, I guess like what we're going through now. Doesn't really seem positive, but it's going to be. Okay, hopefully I will see some of you tomorrow on Saturday the 16th at my webinar. I'm the only one on camera, just so you know. You can all sit around in your pajamas and be comfortable. You can also hear the recording at any other time after it's finished, about an hour later. It will be available for you to listen back to if you need to. And I do keep them unlisted on YouTube just in case something goes wrong with the website. And so we've always got a backup of them as well. So away we go, and I look forward to it. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Sending lots of love, many blessings, and bye for now. Bye.